Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chumash Casino Resort here in Santa Ynez, California, for the semifinal round of the Showbox Super Middleweight Tournament. Brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions in association with the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians, the Chumash Casino Resort, and Showtime. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission Program, Armando Garcia, Chief, and Dean Lohais, Chief Inspector. The three judges who will be scoring this next bout will be Marty Denkin, Lou Filippo, and Alejandro Rochin, and our referee in charge is David Mendoza. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He entered the ring wearing the blue trunks, and he weighed in at 165 3/4 pounds. He has a perfect professional record, 22 victories, no defeats, with 12 wins by knockout. From Paris, France, ladies and gentlemen, here is the 1996 French Olympian, the undefeated Jean-Paul Mendy. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the black trunks, and he weighed in at 166 pounds. He too has a perfect professional record, 14 victories with no defeats, 11 big wins by knockout. From Capitol Heights, Maryland, introducing the unbeaten Henry Sugar Poo Buchanan.
Mendy, come on up. Sugar Poo, come on. Come on up here. Gentlemen, you receive your instructions and you're expected to follow them, okay? Protect yourself at all times, okay? And watch that belly button, okay? Keep them up. You got all that? All right, touch gloves, go back to your corner.
All right, so we set the table here, and we are going. Buchanan in jet black and in all blue, the southpaw, a stance that Sugar Poo has never seen professionally before. How will Mendy make life miserable for him?
Well, the first thing you want to look at, Buchanan was very effective in the first round with his jab, Nick. And we know against southpaws, you should jab. Sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. But how much of a factor will Sugar Poo's left hand be against the southpaw? We will see.
Buchanan would be best, I would think, to start cautiously, keep some distance, probe, and really see how this southpaw, the first he's faced professionally, moves. Tries to deke and then stick a little right-hand lead to the body of Mendy. Fell short. Mendy really hasn't fired a meaningful punch. Again, he's checking out Buchanan's movements. Mendy with a little hybrid left hand, uppercut, cross.
Nick, you're going to see that punch a lot from Mendy. He likes to bring that left hand from underneath. And that's kind of hard to, you don't see it coming to begin with because he's a southpaw, but then when it comes from underneath, it's a very sneaky punch. There it is again.
I like Mendy's adaptability and everything I've seen of him. We only saw 95 seconds of destruction in round one.
But those punches up.
Not afraid to fight inside and very comfortable outside. And I think he could fight all night for a 32-year-old if he dictates pace and range. And it looks like he wants to close the gap on Buchanan. This is a 17-foot ring, significant. The rules minimum 16, most rings you see up to 20.
Right. Well, the smaller ring you would think, Mendy was thrilled to death when he heard it was a 17-foot ring. But Buchanan's not showing a lot of lateral movement right now.
Buchanan reading, eyes wide, just probing with that jab. Again, a different angle. You don't see punches coming from that angle often, but he did spar, including against Paul Williams for this fight. So depending on how many rounds he had against Williams, it could be a big benefit. Now he's in against Jean-Paul Mendy, unbeaten French middleweight champion. Buchanan, a nice hand speed there to stick that right hand to the body as he feinted with the left.
The two right hands Sugar Poo has thrown in this fight have both been to the body. Remember, he suffered a hairline fracture in the first round, and that affected how much he could spar in preparation for this. But does he have the confidence in that right hand to throw it to the head. Let's see. He's going to need it against the southpaw.
He digs again to the body, and here comes Mendy waking
stop,
up
stop
a little
punching,
bit.
Stop punching. Step back.
Late in this first round, Mendy has done very little, and Buchanan, with just a few right hands, probably took the round.
Done less? I don't know.
Time.
So that's huge for Buchanan. Get off the mark quickly. He talked about what he's got to do against the Frenchman.
Whatever he does, I want to neutralize whatever he thinks that his best weapon is. I want to neutralize that. So I basically want to see what he has to offer. But at the same time, I'm not going to be shy for offense either.
That's nothing. He's nothing. Understand me?
Suck it up. Calm it down.
He's trying to wait for something to happen. Keep your hands up. He's trying to wait to throw that hard left hand right there in the pipe. That's all he wanted to do. He waited for you to make some crazy mistake. You understand me? Keep your hands up. I need you to throw more body shots.
Junius Hinton again in the corner. We head to the second, and I guess the basic construction, fight within yourself, make it happen, but just call Mendy having nothing, that's, boy, I don't know if I saw that in 3 minutes. Yeah, he didn't show us anything, but this is a formidable fighter. Buchanan, though, really feels this strong sense of nationalistic pride, and the American athletes are so much better, but now he's in the corner and he gets cracked by the first significant punch, a left hand from Mendy.
Right. Stop punching. Stop punching. Listen to me. Listen to me, okay? Box.
Mendy with some good work inside out of the clinch, slamming that left hand home to the body, and he's backing up Buchanan now. Buchanan fires the right once, twice. Belt line, and David Mendoza caught it, but a legitimate blow, Steve.
Oh, I thought so. And Mendy with the left, but a good idea for Sugarpoo to land, to throw the right lead, whether to body or head.
And Steve, the thing we saw with Buchanan prior to the tournament was that he was a little wild. And Hinton really hit it on the head, and he's looking for you to do something wild or foolish. So fighting within yourself or with a controlled type of aggression is not a bad idea against a real finished fighter in a Frenchman. You can't make a mistake. And now we see Mendy coming forward and out of the clinch again, holding, hitting. And now Buchanan willing to trade inside and still holding, hitting. Mendoza lets him fight on. You see their arms are wrapped.
Stop punching. Stop punching.
Well, the general rule is, Nick, if the fighters have one arm each free, referee should not break them. So good job by Mendoza there.
Here comes Buchanan trying to stick that jab against the lefty. Mendy basically flat-footed now as he tries to get dialed in to the comfort zone, what range he wants to be at. There's that right hand again. Just flicked the cross and creased Mendy. So that right cross working for Buchanan and sticking just that straight right hand to the body. Now Mendy gets wild, and now the combinations as the punches start to flow, and he has Buchanan in a little trouble.
Great. Stop punching. Stop punching. Great. Great.
Buchanan shakes it off, comes back. He looks fine. Mendy shook him up a little bit, not necessarily hurting him, but definitely taking him out of his rhythm and game plan, Steve.
Yeah, I think so. And the difference is that when Mendy punches and backs Buchanan up, he's doing it in combination. You see a few punches.
Yeah, there's those left hands you're talking about. And now there's a low blow, it looked like. And now they're just slugging, and Buchanan the first to back off. Now Buchanan dialing in again and gets beaten to the punch there. So the jab, there's the straight right hand, and he'll try to feint his way away from danger. And Mendy with a controlled, beautiful second round as he stings Buchanan with a right as we close out the second. Now they're waking up.
Action from round two. Typical European Mendy in that when he attacks, he does it suddenly and with punches and bunches. And that left hand, I'm telling you, that's got to be a nightmare because where is it coming from, that left hand? Underneath. His later in the round, he seems to sting Buchanan, and Sugarpoo really didn't have an answer other than to hold. Unlike Nick, I gave Mendy the first round as well. I think he's up 2-zip, and that flurry was certainly enough to carry the second round.
Quand tu l'as fait mal en bas, tu peux remonter en haut, c'est ouvert. Il aime pas ça, il aime pas la guerre. Il aime pas.
Fini au corps, je remonte ma main.
Jean-Paul, il aime pas la guerre. Tiens,
Une fois, je ne veux plus.
We need to go to war.
mais bien,
Keep hands.
reste vigilant, il est dangereux en fond.
Go to the war.
Il est dangereux en fond.
All right, and have good defense.
So they want to go to war. They feel that Buchanan can't take that kind of heat. So Mendy really got a load of offense under him, gathering that momentum in the second round. Feeling that right hand again, as Buchanan's best punch has been the right to the midsection of Mendy. Mendy in blue, Buchanan from Washington, D.C. in all black. Mendy hands up, elbows tight, tough target, and now Buchanan didn't have enough range to really unload that right hand. It smothered his own power.
There's a right forearm from Buchanan a few seconds ago. You know what, Nick? We talk about jabs against southpaws. We've seen it a million times. He has not landed a single jab of note in 2 rounds.
Right, and there's a low blow.
Keep those punches up. Keep them up.
It's Buchanan who's the culprit, as Mendoza looked at Mendy and told him to keep him up. So this is borderline stuff right now from Buchanan. Mendy pushing forward, probing. No left hand of any consequence from Sugar Poo. So Mendy should have no problem getting around that jab. He's got to watch that right hand and maybe counter it. Or he could choose to make the play. So Mendy fighting when he wants to. Buchanan waiting. Wants to maybe feint Mendy into mistakes. And perhaps counter him, but Buchanan laying back now.
Wait.
There have been a lot of borderline punches, right, Nick?
Oh, that was south of by Mendy. Buchanan shows no effect from it. Steve, got to be confusing. You haven't fought a southpaw as a professional. There's just no question about it.
I agree 100%, Nick. You could see it plain to see that when the two of them are at a little bit of a distance, Sugar Poo Buchanan has no answer. He doesn't know what to do because his jab is not effective.
You don't hold and hit. Don't do that.
So holding and hitting on Mendy with a warning. Boy, he comes in and just rushes straight. It's like he's just running after Buchanan. Buchanan should turn him and maybe run him into some shots and time those kind of rushes. I wonder, does Buchanan have the kind of cannons to keep him off?
Tough to say because his knockouts, he has decent knockout percentage, but it's come against easy opposition.
This is the ShoBox Super Middleweight Semifinals, our first bout of the night. Winners to the finals in January.
It's funny, Nick, you know, in talking about this with people in boxing.
Good combination from Buchanan as he stokes up the offense. Little right cross followed by a left hook. And now Mendy swinging for fences.
Keep those punches up.
Here, another low blow by Buchanan.
That's a very tricky fight because they're holding and hitting and not breaking when David Mendoza says so.
Right, Mendy chased Buchanan and followed up with those second and third shots and connected with that third. Holding and hitting again, it looked like. But it's Mendoza telling Buchanan to keep him up at the bell.
Your eyes all right. Your eyes all right.
To the cold towel.
Give him the cold towel.
We're going to get calling for some ice on the eye.
Excuse me, Commissioner. I got it, Cam. I got it. Okay, Commissioner.
Pick it up, right up the canvas.
Hard to tell. Did Buchanan say that that Mendy butted him, or perhaps pushed him in? I don't know what, but the eye seemed to be an issue in his right eye. We'll watch Buchanan's right eye carefully. A lot of blinking now.
Well, the referee came to Sugar Poo's corner, but instead of getting to complain, Junius Hinton, the referee warned Buchanan for punching low. So I think there's plenty to go around in terms of warnings.
Steve, these rushes from Mendy just straight squared up. How do you neutralize them? You know, Buchanan talked about nullifying that kind of aggression.
Well, they're kind of reckless rushes. Whoa, nice left.
That's how you do it. you stand and fight with him, and that's what Mendy's hoping Buchanan will do. And then it's a matter of firepower.
Don't hold him. Don't hold him.
And of course, we as an audience would love to see that. 17-foot ring again. I don't want to overstate it, but it's a small one.
The reckless rushes of Mendy.
Stop.
Because they're reckless, sometimes they're more effective. You don't know where the punches are coming from. Another warning to Buchanan for punching low. The referee's starting to back himself into a corner neck. He's going to have to start taking points very soon.
Good point. Now Buchanan's still moving straight back here. Now he's just moving again to his left, which is where Mendy would probably want him, into his power right hand.
Break. Stop on
power left.
Step back. Let's go.
Yeah, you generally want to move to your left against the
right.
southpaw.
So he's doing the right thing now. We'll see if Buchanan, when he pulls out, looks like he could be bleeding from the nostril, Buchanan.
Yeah, he is.
Left nostril. He's got that little eye issue. It may be minor, but he's getting roughed up a little. And here, not protecting himself at all times, and he gets clipped.
It's very sloppy coming out of the clinch by Buchanan.
And pulling straight back, Buchanan. He's got to give more angles. He's got to make a less inviting target for Mendy, and he's got to start putting some offense together. He certainly is game.
Keep those punches up.
He's not afraid to engage this guy. I think the question becomes, can Buchanan do enough to discourage Mendy? He's had his moments. They both have. Buchanan importantly kept punching. He gets rocked with a little right hand there and pushed back. Now Mendy on the attack. He's got Buchanan in Mendy's corner.
Stop punching. Step back.
What happened during that sequence is Buchanan landed a couple of right hands in a row. He went for a third. Mendy got wise and landed a right hook counter.
Buchanan not abandoning the jab, at least getting it up there to perhaps blind Mendy to what's coming next. But he's got to be punching. The hand is low. He's just trying to read Mendy now without reacting offensively. A little wild there. Buchanan walks right in, and Mendy discouraged him. Rush. Here comes Mendy. Inside, fails to shorten up and really didn't connect solidly. Now he's trying to find his range. Nice left hands from Mendy. Some finding nothing but air, but others connecting. There's a straight right from Mendy just before the bell.
Stop. Time.
Il faut que tu lèves tes mains, Jean-Paul, quand même. Il reste dangereux. Hein. Lève tes mains. Jean-Paul.
Your hands up, Jean-Paul. Your hands up. Be close, cut the road, and have your hands up. Keep going to the wall.
Que sur un coup, mais il te touche.
Keep going to the wall because
Il veut te toucher sur un coup et ça te fait mal.
he tried just to knock you out with one punch. Your hands up, move, and cut the road. Keep pushing.
Action from round 4. It's very difficult to defend against Mendy, and here you'll see why. Left hand over the top. Reaches with a left hand, and then what happens when you just start getting used to over the top? He comes up with a left hand from down under. And Mendy jumps in with a jab, a weapon we haven't seen much of from him, but he's showing his versatility.
This is the super middleweight semifinals here on Showbox, our tournament. Who will get to the finals? We hit the 5th round, scheduled for 10. Mendy won the first round in 90 dynamic seconds with a KO Buchanan over the distance. And now they'll scuffle in the corner, and Buchanan gets off the ropes. He's a little low, and he's there to be hit, but Mendy with nothing on those, just basically taps as he rushes and tries to cuff Henry Buchanan.
But look at the impression that Mendy makes. Even though he slapped a couple of times, he was the one coming forward and attacking. That doesn't always matter how effective you are, but he leaves a vision in the judges' minds that he was the aggressor there.
Isn't that true? He's simply busier. And now Mendy shortening up with that left uppercut. Coming forward. Mendy's a good mover he's not a runner, he's not a dancer. But he's much better at turning and controlling range and where he wants to fight in this 17-foot ring. He feints Buchanan back. Buchanan, big overhand right. They want Mendy to counter that kind of wildness.
Good idea for Buchanan to get low when they're on the inside like that, but watch out for that left.
He got clipped with a right and then a left. And now they both sink in shots to the body. Good fight, Steve. Not afraid to engage each other. Straight left hand. Poked through by Mendy. Mendy's in blue, and then the black is Henry Buchanan. Both unbeaten. Both aiming for the super middleweight finals. Scheduled for January here on Showbox. Now Mendy could get some free shots in, but Buchanan holding on in his own corner. Inside a minute to go as we approach the halfway mark of this scheduled 10-rounder. Nice move, feigning with the right to keep Buchanan occupied, and then smoking that little left hand that got through. Good follow-up from Mendy as he connects with the right. Now Buchanan coming forward, but backing off a little bit more, waiting to counter, Steve.
What's impressed me about Sugar Poo is he's tough, Nick, and every time Mendy lands his biggest shots, that seems to be the point when Buchanan wants to make it a fight more than any other time.
Now he's walking forward, trying to storm the Frenchman. Missing, and left hand there as he followed up with that hook. We'll see more of that from him. Perhaps getting more of his offensive confidence off Buchanan. Now Mendy trying to avoid shots. Crowd getting into it just before the bell. Steve, we're halfway home. We're going to talk to you about scores.
You got the fight. Big enough body, stand that pressure. You got too much dog in you. When you come, you give me that little uppercut. Give me that little uppercut. You gonna knock him out? He already through there. He was already waiting on you to knock him out. Sitting there waiting for you.
A lot of action both ways in round 5. Mendy with the left hand early in the round. You could see Buchanan trying to hold on. He was clearly hurt there. But every time Buchanan's thrown that left hook, whether it's been wide or short, it's been his best punch. Not always the right punch against the southpaw, but on the inside, it's certainly working. There it is, the left hook. Mendy is a little sloppy on the inside, comes under a lot with punches. As a result, his hands are low, and he's susceptible to that left hook.
Halfway through, how do you have it, Steve?
49-46, Jean-Paul Mendy.
Mendy in the blue here. The southpaw first lefty that unbeaten Henry Buchanan's ever faced. That's a low blow to the left, but he was out of range, out of sight of David Mendoza. So as we say, Steve has Mendy ahead 49-46. We're in the 6th round, scheduled for 10 of the super middleweight semifinal. Henry Buchanan, game as they come, but just tapping the jab, trying to poke to the stomach. And Steve, I have to say, in terms of power quotient, it looks like Mendy has a slight edge. Buchanan really not shooting the lights out with any one shot.
I agree.
Left hand from Mendy.
Throw his head down and you don't hit up. I know, keep it up.
They're both guilty.
And then, Nick, I don't think Mendy's that big a puncher either, and the reason is his balance isn't that good. When he comes in, he kind of flails, squares up, and he's more interested in sort of overwhelming you than he is in landing good technical shots.
Right, here
you see right there, he slaps a lot.
Walking forward, not a lot of leverage on the shots. Covering up, but still, Sugar Poo goes to the body. Trying to loosen up Mendy. Let's see if he follows to the head. No jab, nothing from Buchanan. Not exactly getting driven back, more than pushed back, but there's a counter from Buchanan as he tries, misses with a right.
They just butted heads.
So referee really staying on top of this, and he'll have to.
Very important for Sugar Poo to stay on the body, because Mendy has set the pace the whole fight. If he can tire Mendy out a little bit, maybe Buchanan can set the pace in the last few rounds.
And a reminder, in the first round of this tournament, Buchanan suffered a hairline fracture of his right hand early in the fight. Looks like there's nothing wrong with it in this one. Here comes Mendy forward and falling into a pattern here. Buchanan very game, trying to make something happen. Instead, eats a little left hand and another. Nothing really serious. Buchanan's gloves were down there, and Mendy just not really jumping on the counter. Mendy fighting a very controlled round. There's that left, follows with another left. Both getting a little sloppy here. Buchanan just showing the jab rather than firing it, but at least not abandoning it against the left-hander. Buchanan walking straight forward. And Mendy trying to tear through the gloves. Looking for openings and not finding. Is either guy. And I want to remind you that more boxing comes your way tomorrow night here on Showtime.
All you got to do is bite a little bit more. Bite a little
Action from round 6. With all the low blows, with all the wrestling, you know there's going to be headbutts. And Henry Sugarpoo Buchanan is very lucky his right eye wasn't busted open by that unintentional headbutt.
Steve, why is Buchanan having so many problems, really landing a lot of clean shots?
Well, I tell you, right now, when you see Mendy with his hands up in that southpaw stance, Buchanan's got no answers, nothing. He's not throwing right leads. The jab, he hasn't landed a jab all fight.
Exactly.
It's only when Mendy is aggressive that Sugarpoo can answer.
So in terms of making the play there, Sugarpoo's been reduced to trying that lead right to the body with some success. But after that, it's basically step back, maybe feint, and try to counter Jean-Paul Mendy. But Mendy fighting in spurts, he'll be busy and then he'll just lay back, sit there like now, center of the ring, and unable to shorten up his shots at all. So there have not been a lot of clean shots landed lately in this fight. Buchanan just sticks the left hand out, trying to reach Mendy. Mendy easily out of danger zone. Now moving in, straight left hand landed. Now looping shots to the body. Buchanan gets peppered with punches to the head. Now low blow there. David Mendoza warns them, headbutting. Now they're in the center of the ring off the ropes, but happy to trade.
Buchanan's got to realize that as difficult as it may seem, his best opportunity is when Mendy's flailing at him. That's when Mendy can be hit.
Stop.
Oh, here we go, low blow.
I'm not going to tell you anymore. He's not holding your head down. Keep those punches up. All right, push.
Hey, you look at Buchanan. Oh, a little sucker move there. Let's shake hands and I'll hit you with a right when you're not looking. Buchanan bleeding from the nostril, left nostril. Now Mendy may get a little fired up here. They both get clipped in the exchange there. Mendy just walking in hands high, but not as busy, I think, as he should be. Now Mendy cracks with the left. Buchanan able to tie him up, turning.
Stop on.
Steve, I'm seeing very few angles from either guy here. Nobody running anybody else into shots. There's a flip chopping right hand from Mendy. He swats with the left hand and connects.
Buchanan left hook. It's the shot. He knows it. He's tried it 3 times now in a row.
Mendy unable to time the rushes of Buchanan.
Oh, they are reckless with their heads. Buchanan's got to finish every combination when they're close with a left hook.
Bleeding from the right eye, left nostril is Henry Buchanan. Nothing serious, it would seem, to in any way stop this fight. But as we close out the 7th, it's Buchanan coming forward. And the one with red on his face.
Il essaie de frapper après le gong à chaque fois. Fais attention. Hein. C'est des tricheurs. Ils savent te tricher. Est-ce que tu vois qu'il a plus de jambes? Ils savent te tricher, Jean-Paul. D'accord?
Keep your hands up.
Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul, keep pushing. Push pressure. Okay. Keep pressure. And keep going to the wall.
Action from round 7. Look at the way Mendy comes in with his head. No warning from the referee. Boom, again. And then there's a reason that rule number 1 of the ring is protect yourself at all times. As Sugarpoo tries the old, touch my left hand, I'll be a sportsman. Looking to clock Mendy with the right hand.
Let's go, girl. Go, come on down.
want to see either guy, both guys sharpen up. Again, I'm calling for that. They're just having trouble. Maybe it's righty-lefty, but see, Mendy's fought his entire career, a seasoned guy, the bulk of his opposition being orthodox fighters, so it shouldn't be an issue. Not a lot of clean shots again here. Borderline, but actually below the belt was that shot, but David Mendoza unable to see it. The boxer shielding him. Now it's Buchanan coming forward. There's that. There it is. That's a low blow.
Comes a point.
Gotta be.
Okay. 1 point.
Well,
One
that's
point.
that. He
point.
has fallen
Lift it up.
critically
Don't do that
behind
again.
Steve, it would seem,
Time in. Buck.
on the unofficial card.
Yeah, I think I was about to say that Sugarpoo certainly can't lose any more rounds, and he just lost a point, which means if he wins this round, he gets nothing for it.
Well, I think his dilemma is, again, he hasn't really been able to move Mendy back, completely take apart his offense, put him on, get him on the run, none of those things. And I think the reason is he really does lack the guns to do it. So he's facing a dilemma here in the 8th. He may not believe he's behind, but and we may not know that, but he's got to know that point's not going to help.
Going into this round, Nick, I had Mendy ahead 5 points. So for Buchanan at this point, at least on my card, knockout or loss.
Guarantee, I think Buchanan, even in his heart of hearts, thinks it's a lot closer, Steve, and that he's still very much in the fight. So he's not going to get reckless. Here's Mendy, unanswered right jab, so he fires it again. His hands are low, but Buchanan not generating any offense. There's a left to the body from Mendy.
All I can see for Sugarpoo, let Mendy come to him, get low, and counter with a big left hook. That punch has been there all fight.
Well, it's the closest target. That little left hook should be. Mendy cracking and now backing off. Buchanan coming forward. He's desperate. If not, he should be. He's never stopped trying in this fight.
You know, in a lot of ways, this is Sugarpoo's first real fight. I mean, you know, it's quality of opposition. He's making a huge jump, and to do it against a southpaw who has more experience, it's tough.
Not bad, but certainly, you know, we don't feel good enough at this point for him.
Right. He's in a tough spot. This is a tough spot for him.
Mendy, while not certainly feeling comfortable, Steve, by any means, content to take what's there without taking any risks. But again, I go back. I don't know how much of a risk because I don't know how much of a puncher Buchanan is.
Champ, we need these rounds. We need this.
Come on.
We need
It's all
this.
right. It's all good. We gonna get him.
You understand me? You're standing in front of him posing. Look, get your hands off. Get your hands. Let your hands move.
In round 8, Sugarpoo lost a point. He simply could not lose, and here's why. Well, Mendy's right glove is wrapped around Sugarpoo's head. Was he pulling down on him? Let's see. Well, one thing's for sure. It was low. And that cost him a point. And then when they're at a distance, even when Mendy jumps in with sort of shaky balance, he's able to land and nothing comes back from Buchanan. And that's why Mendy's winning most of these rounds, Nick.
Don't quite believe Buchanan's legs are shot the way Mendy's corner thinks they are. I think he's still moving well. And again, Steve, I think the dilemma is it's tough to fight this southpaw who's pretty well schooled and finished. Oh, boy.
Hey, keep those punches up and you don't push him down, all right? Buck.
Fair enough.
Again, Buchanan there tries that left hook, but really not cracking with it. He gets hit solidly up the middle by a left from Mendy.
Well,
Mendy backs off. There's that wild left hook, and they break as instructed.
Nick, Mendy is effective because he's awkward. He is not a good technical puncher. His feet are not under him when he punches. I just watched him, and one of his feet was actually 3-4 inches in the air when he threw a right hand. But he's awkward, and you add that to the southpaw stance, and then he jumps in. He can be effective.
I didn't see him really putting his head down at all, but I saw that left cross get in from Mendy to the body of Henry Buchanan. Buchanan having a little bit of the fight taken out of him. He certainly doesn't lack the courage, but he lacks maybe the class to stay with this guy.
They fought in this fight when Mendy wanted to fight.
Exactly.
He's totally controlled the pace and the terms of engagement.
Buchanan not forcing him to fight, and I think it just does come down to the power quotient again, Steve. You just can't keep the heat on this guy and can't discourage him enough to really get him on the run and get him out of a plan. So no sustained attack from Henry Buchanan, and Mendy is having it his way for the most part in terms of pace and range. Middle, and now he backs off. They're in the middle of the ring, and Mendy clubs with the right hand, and nothing back from Buchanan. Buchanan a foot short with that left. Reluctant to pull the trigger, so Mendy obliges.
When at a distance, Mendy's southpaw stance and reach advantage has been have been too much for Sugar to overcome.
Again, not a solid connect rate from either guy. Lots of punches missing, but Mendy definitely the busier offensive fighter here, winning round after round. Now, nice left hand. Will Mendy follow up? I mean, he hit him flush there. Another left hand gets through as Buchanan dropped his hands. Buchanan walking forward. There's the left again from Mendy as he cracks again with that left. Big round for Jean-Paul Mendy. 1 to go.
Action from round 9. Look at Mendy, wide left hand. It landed flush. It's because he's a southpaw. He changes the plane of his punches. That one he really wound up with. Sort of a sucker shot.
Let's knock him out. Son, you got to work. You got to work, kid.
Souffle, 3 fois. 3 fois profondément, 3 fois. Give Walter. Toujours ce bras avant. Jean-Paul, il va être obligé d'y aller.
Straight that for the right hand and left hook. You're not throwing it.
Don't worry about that.
I know it.
Let's work.
You got to work, Pooh. You got to work, son. You understand me? Pooh, you got to go.
You got to go as in KO.
Good luck to both of you guys, all right?
Buchanan's tired, more tired than Jean-Paul Mendy. And again, it's called controlling the fight. And from every fight I've seen with Mendy, when he can control things that way, he can fight all night because he's just not pressed and not threatened enough.
And I'll credit Mendy. He's not a big puncher, but there's just as much on his left hand now as there was in the first round.
Good point. And he's going for it now, opening up. Now Buchanan coming back, sticking the jab, looking like putting together some of the things perhaps he should have been doing earlier. Not a time to feint unless you're going to catch Mendy absolutely making a colossal mistake here. So suckering him into a flaw here in the 10th would seem to be the longest of long shots for Henry Buchanan. But as you said, Steve, no answers here on how to take this fight away from the Frenchman. Buchanan willing to take shots on the gloves and just walk in without punching. And Mendy happy to oblige. Now Mendy just looking to create the openings.
And you just see the diversity of attack of Mendy. You don't know where the punches are coming from. There's that left hook by Sugarpoo. That's his shot.
Yeah, Buchanan just hanging in there now. Sheer guts.
I like Buchanan's guts, though, Nick.
Absolutely.
He's never really been in a fight like this before. I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, that's what he showed us. If nothing else, he showed us.
you know, he's giving away age, experience, amateur experience, rounds. He's giving away everything to Mendy. And it's shown, but he's growing up.
Well, we heard all the bluster going in, and maybe that was a way to pump himself up. And again, heart of hearts feeling, yeah, do I really match up against the guy with all this experience? I can talk all I want about him being in soft and fighting in Europe, and he hasn't beaten anybody either. But the fact is, Mendy's having it his way. And looking impressive as he apparently is zipping into the finals.
Sugar Poo's tried that left hook again and again in this 10th round, but when it's a lead punch, it's not going to land. It has to be when Mendy is punching as well to present an open target.
And there, Mendy kept punching, and on that third shot, got through with the left hand. Just seconds left in this first semifinal tournament fight.
Welcome to the pros, Sugar Poo. Welcome to the finals, Mendy.
Stop. Don't push his head down.
And that should do it here in our opening bout of this doubleheader. Again, I said it before, Henry Buchanan, to plug him in here, Steve never stopped trying, but I got to think he stopped believing that he had any answer for this guy.
Good fight. Came to box. We boxed.
I would agree with that. I think a good fight, not great, Steve, but good performance from Mendy.
Sugar Poo came in with the glasses, Nick. He's leaving with the glasses, but for a different reason. Nice glasses.
He's styling. Here we see the action, Steve.
Yeah, Mendy had punches coming from strange places throughout this fight. When he punched early, it was in combination. It was in close. Buchanan couldn't do anything with Mendy when they were at a distance, but when they got close, you could see Mendy, his intent is just stronger. He wants to punch, he wants to fight, he's not worried about getting hit, and he's not worried about defense. Later on in the fight, Mendy snaps Buchanan's head back. Buchanan really didn't know where the punches were coming from. And Buchanan really learned late in the fight that the answer was a left hook when Mendy was punching, because Mendy drops that right hand, he squares up, he does present the target, but as Nick said, Buchanan just didn't hit hard enough to shake Mendy and capitalize when he did land his big shots. And then this is the 10th round. Wow, you saw Buchanan's eyes kind of roll a little bit in his head from that left hand. Mendy, not the biggest puncher, but he carried his strength with him, as a 10-round fighter does, from rounds 1 through round 10.
Boy, beautifully put, Steve. He really did increase the pressure as it got deeper, and we say won easily. Let's hear the official card and the scoring from Jake Gutierrez.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. Judge Alejandro Rochin scored the bout 99-90. Judge Lou Filippo saw it 100-89. And Judge Marty Dinkin also scored this bout 100-89. All for the winner by unanimous decision. He remains undefeated. And Jean-Paul